Hey guys, I'm coming at y'all with another video. This time I want to talk about the 4 most important factors to take into consideration when you're sourcing your shoes. So whenever you're going through your thrift stores, your garage sales, wherever it is that you're doing your sourcing, there's 4 things that you really need to pay attention to. The first one that you want to take in consideration is the brand. You can't just get any brand. You got to do your research. Look at what brands sell. A good tip that I have to figure that kind of stuff out is to go into eBay, do your completed listing search, and set a price range. So do, like, say you want to hit like a middle price range around like $30 to $60. Do a search for just shoes or men's shoes or any particular type of shoe that you want to look for. And go to your sold listings. See what brands sell at that price point. And then if you want to look at for more expensive shoes, then do one with a higher price range. Do one between 70 and 150 bucks. Just try to figure out what brands sell. Those are the ones you want to keep track of. Write those brands down, keep them in a Google Docs, and have that available on your phone. The next thing you want to look for is the style. This one isn't going to be the most important. As a matter of fact, I feel like it's the least important. Styles that are in will sell faster. However, just because it's in style doesn't mean someone else doesn't want it. So there's going to be a smaller market for it, but any particular style is going to sell eventually. That's not the most important part, as long as the other 3 aspects are there. So the next one is going to be condition. Make sure the shoes are in good condition. The first thing you're going to notice whenever you come across a pair of shoes is their overall appearance. Do they look good? Can they be cleaned up? Do they just need to be a little cleaned up? Do they need to be polished? That stuff, I mean that all that information can hit you immediately once you see the shoes. You might find other stuff after further examination. However, the general appearance you're going to know of immediately. It's like a first impression. So the next thing you want to look at is the soles, inside and out. Look inside the shoe. Does it look disgusting? Don't get it if it looks disgusting. Does it look really good? Awesome. Flip it over. Look at the bottom. How's the tread? Well, that's pretty much all there is to it at the bottom. Does the tread look good? If it looks good, awesome. If it doesn't, then don't get them, because things with bad tread, they aren't going to be comfortable, and they won't sell very well. So these are probably the worst tread that I would get. You can see that there is flattening out around the balls of the heels and the outside here of the foot. And this is probably the worst I would get. This shoe has been sitting forever, and this is one of the mistakes that I made. And I'm going to get to those here more in a minute. But you can see that the tread is worn around the heel here. You got to look at that on dress shoes. People tend to drag their heels when wearing dress shoes for some reason, or maybe that's just how they walk. I don't know. But yeah, that's the next thing you want to look at. You got the inner soles. These ones happen to look really good. The brand is worn off a bit, but that's not much of a big deal as long as they're not like torn and whatnot on the inside. So undersoles, inner soles, the outside general appearance, and these ones tricked me when I got them. I thought that they looked good. They're wingtips. That's a big selling point. They've got these other features with the tassel and the kilt. However, what I wasn't paying attention to, and now it sticks out to me like a sore thumb, but what I wasn't paying attention to when I bought them a couple months ago was that the kilt is peeling. I hate that. I don't like it. I'll probably eventually take some super glue to them to see if it sells, but I don't want to have to take the time to do that. That's just more work than I want to put into it. I already had to clean them up and polish them. And now that they've been sitting so long, they need to be polished again. But so that's the other thing that you want to look for. After your soles, look at the uppers. Is it just a few scuffs? Can that stuff be polished off? Is it a major defect? Is it something that you can't fix? That's the stuff you want to avoid. How much time is it going to take for you to fix it? That's another thing. Shoelaces are not a big deal. With these, look at these shoelaces. They're all ripped up. They're torn. Not a big deal. They cost like $2 to replace. You can replace them if you want to make them sell easier. I usually don't because people will still buy them with bad shoelaces. As long as you can hide it in the pictures and make it look good, then awesome. You can disclose it in the in the description. So with these particular shoes, the shoelaces are not a big deal. I didn't pay attention to that because I didn't care. What I liked about them is that they are actual cayman alligator skin right here, or leather. That's a big selling point. I really like that about the shoes, and it makes them a bit more valuable. These are Florsheim Imperials. That's the brand. But what I didn't see was the terrible heels back here. They're all kind of cracked and peeling around the corners here. That's not something that I would usually get. Soles are replaceable, but I would only take that into consideration for the really high-end brands like Allen Edmonds. So that's something to take into consideration. Whether you're willing to replace the soles or not, or whether they'll still sell with bad soles. Some people will put the money into it they'll pay a cheaper price for the shoes and then go and get the soles fixed themselves. So that's a mistake that I made here. Also, this tag was broken off. So I kind of regret that investment. I didn't like it. So moving on, that's a good idea now for condition. The price. The price is the next thing. If you're paying too much and there's not a lot of room for profit, then that's not a good buy. You got to buy low and sell high. That's the most important thing. Set yourself a limit with some expectation, or with some not expectations but exceptions. I typically won't spend more than $10 for a pair of shoes. However, I will spend a little bit more for shoes that are in excellent condition. I'm not going to have to do any work for them, and they're going to sell quick. Another exception is going to be boots. Red Wings, Ariats, those boots are really popular. They'll sell well. I'm willing to pay a premium, well, my idea of a premium, because those are typically more profitable, and I'm willing to invest more money in them. Here's another example. I had these in a video the other night. I thought they looked great. The soles, they're used, but that's pretty good for dress shoes. They're Cole Haan. It's a good brand. The insides look good. You can still see the brand. There's no tears. It's a decent shoe. They're loafers. They have moccasin toes, tassels. It looks great. This one does, and I imagine that's the one that I picked up in the store. However, you got to look at both shoes. These look terrible. They've got a whole hole worn through the soles, all the way through. When you feel in the middle, I mean, my finger is practically poking out of the bottom. That's terrible. And that's how long men keep their shoes. They keep them forever until they fall apart. This guy just didn't know that it only costs like $30 to get a new pair of soles. I'd rather do that than buy myself a new pair of shoes. So these are things that you got to pay attention to. These are mistakes that I've made. This is another one. This is probably not going to be a very common mistake, but I got these FootJoy shoes. They look great. They look brand new. There was nothing on the bottom. I didn't have to clean them or anything. They're as is. However, this shoe has 2 inches extra sole than this one. They were probably built for someone with uneven legs, which is, it happens. People have uneven legs, and they have to get their shoes altered in order to not have back problems and whatnot. So that was an issue there. I'm still going to sell them. I haven't listed them just because, I don't know. I should have listed them right away rather than waiting. But it's just going to be a really small market. And these, they're a good brand. They're in good condition. There's not a whole lot of tread missing from the heels here. But there's no size on them. You can guess a size if you want by taking measurements and kind of looking at charts on graphs, comparing them to other shoes, and making your best judgment towards their size. However, if it's not written on the shoe, it's probably going to be a hard sale. So that's the 4 things that I have for you, the 4 most important factors to take into consideration when sourcing shoes. Your brand, your condition, your price, and those are top 3 in no particular order, with the 4th and least important being style. Just because they're not in style doesn't mean someone else won't like them. Okay guys, I showed you what to avoid whenever you're buying shoes. But let me show you real quick some things that you should look for. I'm going to use these as an example. These are Merrell's. Merrell's is a good brand. They are a good selling shoe for me. The style is hiking shoe. Hiking shoes sell well. People are always looking for them because they want good shoes to go hiking with. It's a popular activity. So that's one style to look for, and the brand. The condition, these look really good. I think these are a little dusty when I got them, but I threw them. They're waterproof shoes. I took out the soles and I put them in the washing machine, and I ran them on a really gentle cycle, and then I pulled them out and let them air dry. So whenever you take a condition consideration, cleaning them is one thing. And then the next is price. These were a little dirty when I got them, so Goodwill or whatever, I probably got them from a Goodwill. They priced them lower, which is good, so I probably only paid like $7.99 for them. And then again, hitting with the brand, these particularly have Vibram soles. Vibram is a really high quality maker of soles. So that's one thing that you want to look for in shoes. And the last is these are waterproof. Whenever you come across shoes and they're waterproof, usually that makes them a little bit more valuable. They might not say waterproof, they might say Gore-Tex. That means waterproof. It's just a particular technology that I'm not going to go over right now. You can Google that. But those are things that you do want to look for. There you have it. Those are, in my opinion, the 4 most important things to take into consideration when you're sourcing your shoes. Thanks guys. Y'all have a